Hello and welcome to episode 95.
I hope that's right.
I hope that's right. Of No Gods, No Mayors. I am your mayor for this episode, November Kelly. I'm joined by my co-deputy mayors and deputy friends, Riley Quinn and Matthew Lubchansky.
Hello.
So I've been demoted from your co-friend to co-deputy friend.
Well, I thought it was fairer that you both be co-deputy friends rather than trying to share the co-friend position.
No, it's actually fine. It's more like I just want to know where I stand. Like I've lost the ability to be hurt emotionally by you. And I just want to know
the deputy thing doesn't actually reflect a sort of like taking away of your powers necessarily. It's purely a kind of like formal thing.
Okay.
Do not stress too much about it.
Well,
No.
also in our system, the deputy actually is hired by the council and cannot be fired except by the council.
In some ways, it's actually more of a sort of a functional promotion. Also, I will say, I think as, you know, sort of people who are heading rapidly towards old, we all crave the MySpace top 8 again.
Oh, my God. What was on MySpace, what was the song that greeted visitors to your space?
I am not going to tell you. That is classified information.
Okay, I'm willing to admit it was Q and Not You, Soft Pyramids.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That rules.
Mm-hmm.
Riley?
I don't think I had a song.
Oh, you were too cool
I
for
used it primarily as like just messaging.
Riley was using it as a sort of early LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Come on. I was just like 14-year-old me wearing like a sweater vest to high school, being like, I am in this.
I just got endorsed on MySpace for wearing those really like stripy elbow length fingerless gloves.
Yeah, I think my conception of Riley's teenagerhood at this point is like Riley shows up to school in a full suit, but the school's of course run by ad busters, so he's not wearing any shoes, and he's got a briefcase, but inside the briefcase is some delicious Niagara wine.
Yeah, I sort of believe on some level that Riley had Ned Flanders' childhood, where you're sort of countercultural parents for like, he's too square. You know, we've tried everything to make him hip, but he won't do it.
Nothing. We're all out of ideas.
I mean, all of this is like, it's all 30% right in different directions.
That's awesome.
You're going to be able to piece it. Honestly, if you listen to sort of everything I've ever said into a microphone, you can piece a lot of it together.
Yeah, I've listened to most of it, I think. Yeah. Whereas like my childhood is pretty easy to, it's pretty easy to figure out that I was wearing like a shirt from the Goodwill and like a necktie to school. Like it's pretty simple. It's really simple to find that out. Like that's easy to find out about me.
Yeah, my childhood is. So, you know, that's fine. And it's not traumatic. Thank you for joining us on No Gods, No Mayors. And we're here today to talk about John Green. And sadly not the Fault in Our Stars guy, because he hasn't been elected mayor anywhere yet.
Except America's hearts.
Yeah, that is true, actually. I used to watch the Crash Course stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not above that. I'm not.
Sure.
I don't think I'm too good for John Green.
No.
But this is John Willison Green, who is Canadian. Riley, I'm sorry to poach a Canadian mayor from you. And if this one seems a little disjointed or rushed, I had to put this together at the last second. As you can tell from my voice, I'm a little sort of under the weather. As Florida Representative Alan Grayson once said, don't get sick. And if you do get sick, die quickly. But it's going to be fine. Everything is going to be fine. But before we talk about John Willison Green and the Fault in His Stars, we have a little segment on this podcast that we like to call, based on the sort of item that I think is going to take preeminent place, Don't Look Back in Hyang.
Come on. It's called Municipal Roundup.
Okay, but if we can get some like an Oasis-style version of the Municipal Roundup theme, because we're doing things a little differently.
Hey, Sam, can you write and record an Oasis sound-alike real quick? Which, by the way, we moved the recording date, so now there's a quicker turnaround. Sam, can you just write and record an Oasis sound-alike?
Yeah,
please. Thank you.
Please it's still by the way, crucially, it is still the Rawhide theme song stinger. But what if Oasis played the Rawhide theme song?
Yeah. And ideally it sort of has the sound of a kind of like a deeper Oasis cut. So it's like mayoring in the bushes, something like that.
This late period Oasis, like when they stop, like dig out your soul.
Yeah.
Like,
Sam, I want
really
you to,
bad
when
albums.
you're recording it, Sam, it should be clear to the listener that you hate your brother, that you're really mad at your brother, who's the other person writing the song with you. So try to compartmentalize a second portion of yourself. So if you could develop like multiple personalities, Be mad at the other one.
That would be ideal.
So if you could just get that on my desk end of day Wednesday, that'd be awesome.
Also, you have to be from Manchester.
Yeah.
So that's
can
also
you move
key.
to Manchester really quick?
And like we said earlier, this is going to be all of that in like 2 or 3 days less than usual.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's difficult making a profit on this podcast when so much of our expenses are funding our editor's retrospective move to Manchester and then finding himself there. We're buying so many puffer jackets.
Sam, I want you to look under your chair. There is a bucket hat waiting for you.
Hello everybody, this is Sam's brother Sam, and it's with some sadness and great relief to tell you that there will not be a new Municipal Roundup stinger. Because Sam and I had a huge fight. He got really drunk, I told him he's like a man with a fork in a world of soup, after which he attacked me and hit me with a cricket bat. And then obviously I refused to perform the Rawhide theme song with him. So Sam told me my daughter wasn't actually my biological child. The argument got really heated and I nearly took off his face with the guitar. He later said, quote, I simply could not go on working with Sam a day longer. So here's our usual Municipal Roundup. Yeah.
I want to be clear as we do our first item that the Metaculus is terrifying, right? We were brought together to start a podcast about mayors. As Eric Adams went out, Zoran Mamdani came in, Rudy Giuliani had like 6 different things happen to him. And now, crucially, a little town that shook the whole world by the name of Manchester by the Sea, the city that does things a little differently. It has its very own prime minister now.
Yeah.
Wait,
Only
what?
European mayors can seek high national office, which is one of the reasons why European governance is so disjointed. It only works because
It's too municipal.
It's gotten weird. The unexpected mayoral route to power, because the position of Metro Mayor was kind of created for Andy Burnham and was sort of like his exile to the wilderness. And now he returns, triumphant to Athens and Keir Starmer is his Eupolis. And it's so unexpectedly on topic for us that it's like, oh, yeah, the mayor is approaching London like Yevgeny Prigozhin.
Yeah, I would love, by the way, for, say, you're American and it is 8 a.m.
Who? What?
And you've just woken up and you don't know what November is talking about.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me.
I just want you to imagine that scenario for yourself.
Okay.
So, you're familiar with Sir Keir Starmer, King's Counsel, yes, Maddie?
Yeah, he's the one that owns that one cat at number 10 Downing Street. Yes,
the human rights lawyer who recently had a lot.
Son of a toolmaker, if I recall correctly.
Son of a toolmaker.
Yeah, well remembered.
Driver of a burned car. So what
Mother
happened
of
is,
dragons, breaker of chains.
he is resigned.
Okay.
After Andy Burnham won a by-election to bring him back to Parliament. Andy Burnham, of course, is mayor of Greater Manchester for several years. Andy, I think, and by the way, this is a quick reaction item. I do believe that Mr. Andrew, we do things a little bit differently. Check out our skyline. Don't ask what's in the buildings. Burnham will warrant his own episode at a future, probably pretty soon date.
Oh, future guest. Absolutely.
We're calling a snap item.
People have been battering the door down demanding the Andy Burnham episode. Let me tell you, when we find the right person, probably some kind of Manchester journalist, we will do
some variety of Mancunian.
Yeah, when we find a Mancunian, something which is impossible to do in discourse in this country because the classism, because of the London-centric media. If we do that, if we find someone who podcasts, then we will do that.
Okay.
I can't imagine any exist. But in any case, he is about to be, the odds on at the time of recording, he is about to be made prime minister essentially without a leadership contest, which is something that you can do.
You can do that? I thought they were going to have to have a leadership contest. It's fine. You don't have to explain the ins and outs of all parliamentary procedure to me, but it sounds, okay, so he's just going to stroll in.
What is likely, not guaranteed, but likely, is that we are about to have another mayor world leader. Another mayor making world news, rendering the mid-2020s officially one of the most mayoral periods, one of the most municipal periods in history.
We're living in the municipal century.
Yeah. The old is dying, the new struggles to be born. Now is the time of mayors.
Yeah. It's and it's what rough beast slouches toward Bethlehem to be born. It's Bethlehem, the city, that is actually the topic.
To be Bethlehem asterisk or asterisk the city, to be born asterisk, and that's elected. Sure.
Elected to the municipality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's gonna do it. So that's a sort of a beautiful moment for us, I think. He's gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's gonna be terrible, but by God, he'll be municipal. Andy Burnham, you magnificent bastard. I lived in your student housing. So I have an additional item, a fresh item. A small town Canada mayor has been in the news in June, and she's someone I wanted to bring to our attention. Because look, as much as I love following the antics of Randall Weddle, who, by the way, it turns out doesn't live in London, Kentucky.
What?
Yeah, he lives outside city limits.
This is like when I found out that Eric Adams lives in Fort Lee, New Jersey. What are you talking about?
Well, it turns out Randall Weddle, sorry, we may have to do like a really quick version of London Fog, like sped up.
Okay.
Just compress that into like a burst transmission. It takes like a second.
But no. It's looking like he may not meet the residency requirement for the city. We don't know yet. The lawsuit is not yet completed.
Rocks.
They're suing this motherfucker for everything to stop him from uncovering the real conspiracy.
This is the most victim of lawfare guy I've ever encountered in my life.
Oh yeah, this is some real like you got a tail light out right there type shit, but like civilly.
Smash.
I'd love to see the meme of. I'd love to see two pictures of Randall Weddle. One, I want him photoshopped into that Trump. I want to see two pictures. I'm like fucking Paul Rudd in that skit.
Yeah. Computer.
I'm like, can you print me out a picture of Randall Weddle smiling?
Now Randall Weddle I could get into, yeah.
Now Randall Weddle I like. No, so give me Randall Weddle, and it's that Trump, they're trying to get to you, I'm just in the way.
Sure.
Meme. And secondly, it's what he's turning around in the cinema seat. My favorite one is saying, refill your popcorn. You're going to love the next part. Give me Weddle. Give me Weddle on those. Yeah. They're my new tarot cards. So London Fog done. New mayor time. So a scandal that's been unfolding across June in Cambridge, Ontario, an area in the sort of like university research triangle around Kitchener-Waterloo.
Okay.
Cambridge, Ontario Mayor Jan Liggett said here's what happened. It's Pride. They're raising the Pride flag in the city.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
It's Canada, so they're supposed to do that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. 17-year-old non-binary person Sophie Mills was invited to speak at the city's Pride flag raising event.
That's such a funny person to get to do it. It's just like you look like you've got gender. Get up here.
Yeah. It's like scanning the high school crowd for like a haircut. Be like,
I can't say what the haircut is, but I will know it when I see it.
Yeah, and then I'm running full speed at them with a big butterfly net.
With a big proud butterfly net. A video shared to social media shows Mills starting their speech, but a few lines into it, Mayor Liggett stands up from her chair on stage, walks over, and moves the microphone away from Mills. What happened is that Mills was referencing in their speech some of Cambridge City Council Ward 6 Adam Cooper's controversial Facebook post in 2029 last year, where he basically as a city councilor, on his like Councilor Adam Cooper page, he posted a picture of like an obvious AI generated picture of like an early Mid-Journey model. I don't know how he even got this one of someone with blue hair saying, "He took my pronouns. I have to live in reality now."
Cool.
So the council voted to have Cooper undergo sensitivity training. But then when Mills was going to reference the Facebook post being like, we really have to do better at being inclusive, Liggett jumped up and said, "Sophie, I'm not going to allow you to continue. This is disrespectful. Cooper has gone through what he needs to go through."
He went to the woke gulag, damn it.
Yeah.
Haven't you people inflicted enough on him? That's the funniest thing to yell at a 17-year-old is stop bullying my adult colleague.
I had to go wait outside the Siberian gulag for him, like with that one daughter and Fiddler on the Roof for 7 years. And he finally came back and we're ready to start our life again. And this is what you do to him in public?
He finally gets out of the Kitchener gulag, which is the gulag from that one Muppets movie, for where he has been sent for being like, blue hair and pronouns or whatever. And he's being tyrannized again by the woke teens.
The Kitchener gulag, by the way, it's only 1 butter tart per day. That's all they feed you.
Don't even joke about that. So Sophie Mills, they don't understand that Cooper lost like half a lunch break to that training. And it's what? Is his sacrifice for nothing?
He was just a kid.
he was just 47 years old, you sick
fucking
fuck.
kid.
So but this isn't the thing, right? The thing is, after this happened, Mayor Lick and this like people started saying, hey, it's kind of fucked up. You just took the microphone away from someone who was, because like there's been huge backlash in Kitchener against the mayor because it's a very like university progressive town. Mm-hmm. And so Jan Liggett did, I think, probably one of the most regular things you can when you're confronted by a mistake you should probably own up to and apologize for, which is she posted a 10-minute video responding to the allegations that she silenced Sophie Mills.
Oh, so everybody saw me grab the microphone away from a teenager to scold them about bullying my colleague.
Yep. That's right.
Well, I'm going to talk about this for 9 minutes, 50 seconds.
And then said, I didn't silence anyone. I just took the microphone away.
Yeah, they could have yelled louder if they wanted to.
I didn't silence them. I just made their volume quieter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I turned their gain down.
Silence means completely quiet. And I've just reduced their decibels, which, by the way, in decibels, that means the number 1 higher. So in a lot of ways, it's better because the number's higher.
If a kid with pronouns complains about my colleague and nobody hears it, did it even happen? Very philosophically interesting.
Yeah. So the counselor said, I have a responsibility to maintain, in part of the 10-minute video, after being like, I didn't silence you, I just took away the microphone and told you to stop talking. She says, I have a responsibility to maintain an environment that is welcoming and appropriate for all participants. She said that Mills' comments violated the city's code of conduct for city events. She said, I have to maintain a safe and respectful environment. Allowing personal attacks on individuals by looking the other way are not consistent with my responsibilities. Who will stand up for the chud counselor of Kitchener?
Yeah.
I kind of love university towns because all of their elected officials are kind of just teachers still. Yeah. And have the same affect.
Has anyone ever made a 10-minute long video addressing something and not come out looking worse? Ever happened?
Yeah, no one's ever really had like a 10-minute video addressing the allegations where you're like at the other end of that thinking, yeah, those allegations seem false.
Yeah. So what's happened now is that numerous counselors as well as like groups within Kitchener are pushing for the mayor, Jan Liggett, to resign.
I think she probably should. I think that's a good idea. I love the idea of like the 10-minute sort of rebutting the allegations thing, because I feel like to completely change the narrative, right, to prove your innocence or whatever, that's a project that either takes way less or way more than 10 minutes. But once you're in that kind of medium zone, nothing good can come of that.
Yeah. Everyone just assumes that if like you go sit in your car and film a video addressing the allegations, that everybody in town is suddenly going to start looking at their phones like the end of Disclosure Day, mouths agape, being like, I've changed my mind. The truth has revealed itself to me.
There's a little coda on this one.
Okay.
Mills also said during the same Pride event that the mayor repeatedly misgendered them.
Yeah. I have a sense of this woman, I think.
Yeah. I corrected her and she had an awful response, Mills told CBC News. Liggett addressed this in the video as well, saying, using they, them pronouns is not part of my everyday vocabulary. I will be more mindful, but I will continue to make mistakes.
I love that woke has enough of a stranglehold on Kitchener. The laser sight flips on, so just long enough that she's like, I will do better, but like, I clearly resent it.
I'm going to make mistakes. What are you, my friends from college? Yeah,
So I would like to follow Jan Liggett's utterly self-inflicted embattlement. Like, if she didn't leap up from her chair, if she just let the speech continue, which most counselors think she should have done, and like didn't defend like the one guy everybody on the council hates, then she would not be embattled at all. Instead, she is hyper embattled.
Every time I get news from like woke Canada, it feels like going back in the time machine to when things were a bit less evil. I really like it.
When I flew to Toronto a couple weeks ago, in like the TSA screening area, when I got out like customs control there was a pride flag up And I was like, this is I cannot fathom this happening anywhere else on Earth currently.
Yeah.
This is of course part of the this is part of Carney's grand plan to bring back the Deloitte Pride floats.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the item.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You actually have to read the next heading that you wrote, November. I need you here.
Thank you. This is what concludes a segment that I like to call "Someday You Will Find Me Caught Beneath a Slide with a champagne supernova in the sky."
There it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you can't see this, listeners, but we were all wearing bucket hats.
Yeah,
for that
we're also
segment.
all in a fight with each other now as well.
I'm talking to the microphone. I'm talking to the microphone like this. This is a visual joke for Maddie and November.
I've actually torn off my skin, and under it is a tracksuit. And it's sticky.
Right.
So it's time.
So it is time.
By the way, I wanted to say before you start, I'm doing a new thing where I am letting the mayor be an. Is that a new thing? I've already got some of the surgery.
Well, we haven't started yet.
Yeah. She's an old shit by this point.
Yeah. So where I am declining to learn anything about the mayor beforehand this time. I've decided to let this one wash over me with zero knowledge.
This is absolutely ideal. I mean, in this case, you couldn't really read ahead because I wrote this one 5 minutes before we started recording, and it shows. But it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. We're staying in Canada, and we are in big, beautiful, scenic British Columbia for this one. It's easier if I give you the biography first, because the reveal on this one is kind of so all-encompassing that I kind of can't hold it back until the end, right? This is...
Okay.
It's kind of a bit of a gimmick mayor in a sense, but just trust me on this one. So, John Green was born 1927 in Vancouver. His dad, Howard... why are your parents' names blue on Wikipedia? He was a barrister. He was an MP. He was Diefenbaker's foreign minister, most notably, and was like kind of a big wheel in the Conservatives as they became the Progressive Conservatives, the funniest possible name.
He invented the Diefen bunker.
He kind of did, yeah, weirdly.
The what?
But so... Riley.
So Canada had a little bit of an Albania moment under Diefenbaker where, like, as part of sort of a misguided attempt at military Keynesianism, we built tons of bunkers. But because we built, not lots, we built like a couple huge bunkers, and one of them was a 4-story reinforced concrete bunker and nuclear fallout shelter that became the center of a big, quite, I think, a little controversy for its size. Considering we weren't really going to get nuked, and everyone called it the Diefen bunker.
There's something I want to poach from, there's your problem, which is we had a bit about the Canadian Tire logo, but it just says Canadian stuff. And this is some... Every time we get into the like deep Canadian lore, I think of that. Like anytime we reference, especially when it's not you, Riley, when one of us out of nowhere references the Avro Arrow or Mackenzie King's Terriers or something like that, it's just like that's a certified Canadian stuff moment.
Oh,
and so,
like the fact that Mackenzie King not just having terriers, but also being a full like 19th century spiritualist the entire time he was in charge of the country. All of it is Canadian stuff, and I love it.
Heritage minutes, Canadian stuff.
God!
Specifically, this guy Howard Green, he was one of the guys who was like anti-nuclear in the Diefenbaker government, but like he was, like I say, he was a big wheel in the Progressive Conservatives, and so he raises his son John in Harrison Hot Springs, which is commutable to Vancouver. It's like down the Fraser Valley. It's a tiny like lakeside resort town. Really came up in the 20s when people really were into stuff like hot springs for tourism. Now, unlike his father, John wants to be a newsman, right? So he goes to UBC for English.
You know, those programs are like, they really, it's like a pyramid scheme. They get you in, you get put on an improv troupe, and
he goes to UBC, Upright Citizens Brigade.
Yeah, you see like, oh, like Canadian Amy Poehler has come through here, and you're like, well, she's got famous, right? So like maybe it'll happen for me too. And then 7 years pass and you spent $5,000 and all you've gotten to do is be the monologist once on a Herald, and it's like,
for more on this, watch The People's Joker. But no, so he goes to UBC for English. He goes to Columbia for a master's in journalism. Really young. He's kind of like a wunderkind. He gets his master's at like 20. And so he works for the Toronto Globe and Mail in New York for a couple of years, comes back to Toronto, works there for a couple more. So he sees the bright lights in the big city. You know, he's gone from sort of Vancouver exurb resort to New York City, to Toronto, you know, still, you know, climbing the ladder.
Yep.
You know?
That's a pure upward trajectory.
mm-hmm.
I think it's fair to surmise that he doesn't get on very well in the bright lights in the big city because he quits journalism to join the Canadian Navy for a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, once you've seen Hogtown, you're done, right? There's nothing else to do.
Where you have to like prestige, I assume at that point. Like you do speed runs now to the heights of whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah. Being in the post World War II Royal Canadian Navy, and so he meets his wife June there, and then comes back to Vancouver to do local news. And in 1954, he buys out his hometown's one newspaper, the Agassiz Harrison Advance.
Okay, this is one of my favorite types of thing where the only reason you do that is because you have some points to make.
Yeah, I feel like crank incoming.
I'm very excited for what this is going to entail.
I'm cranking the crank, which is a big crank that I've got in my house that I start cranking when a crank is coming. I'm cranking the crank.
It's interesting that you say this because you're both right, but not in the way I think either of you expect.
Okay.
As to how a 27-year-old buys a newspaper, partially it's just that things are cheaper back then, but I suspect it's also because his dad was like Diefenbaker's foreign minister. Like, I think probably there was, you know, some advantage there. I don't want to call him a dilettante, right? But Riley, I think you might get this if I say a sentence to you. If I say he's the first guy to sail a fiberglass yacht inland in BC, what does that say to you?
Okay, because the lakes inland in BC are not really that big compared to like the Great Lakes. They're not yacht size. You need to, it's a real mismatch of boat size and body of water size that indicates, let's say, very big dreams that people around him are unwilling to dissuade him from.
Yeah, this is sort of like west coast of Canada, conservative gentry son kind of thing.
This is somebody, like, I know versions of this guy. Like, I know a version of this guy, if he was born 30 years later, would have bankrupted himself trying to like purchase London City Airport.
Does it make it worse to know that he designed the fiberglass yacht himself?
Oh, it makes it better.
This is Howard Hughesian behavior.
But so it's fine. He's just this kind of like, you know, prince of the Progressive Conservative Party who has found himself running his like tiny hometown suburb newspaper. And that's all fine until a couple of years later, he's working at the newspaper and a guy with some of the weirdest vibes I've ever heard of and the weirdest hairline I've ever seen on a human, and I own a mirror, walks into his office. This is René Dahinden, and I've included a photo here on the second page.
Yeah, I'll have to put this in the show notes.
He's got like a Hitler mustache in the hairline. It's
really
crazy.
Quite strange.
Also, Dahinden sounds like William Cabell trying to explain the moving part of a door after being struck very hard in the head. What is that, Mr. Cabell? Dahinden.
René Dahinden. He is like a Swiss guy who has emigrated to Canada in the 50s. And this is the turn because he is not just any Swiss Canadian. He's not just what if a Swiss guy was Canadian. He is a Swiss Canadian cryptozoologist.
I can't yell because we record these at a time now where my wife is asleep. But I need you to know. Do you know about me and cryptozoology? Have we talked about this?
I mean, no, we haven't. What's your thing with cryptozoology?
Have we not talked about I'm standing up so you can see it on camera. The Bigfoot tattoo that takes up my entire thigh.
Sick.
I am a longtime cryptozoologist, cryptozoology obsessive. As a child, I checked out a lot of books. about Bigfoot from the library. And I really, most of my childhood was very convinced all this was real. And I got really, really, really into it. And I am quite obsessed with cryptids generally.
The listener cannot see me grinning from ear to ear as the woman who realizes now that, as the sort of sniper who realizes that instead of hitting Texas Governor John Connally, what she has instead done is perfectly dome off the President of the United States. This is both more than I could ever have imagined and also maybe too much.
Because you got the magic bullet, right? Because we have Canadian cryptozoology.
Yeah, I got both of you.
Yeah.
The thing is, you were sitting slightly inboard of Riley, Matthew, so it's like...
Riley's in the convertible with me screaming, covered in my brains.
Because René Dahinden is a devoted cryptozoologist. He has like trashed his job, his marriage, he's gotten divorced, he has fled Europe. He is apparently relentlessly rude and abrasive and impossible to be around. But he has come to Canada to chase that dream. He has moved to Harrison Hot Springs, and his first move is to, I guess, kick in the door of the newspaper's editor's office and scream in his face in the worst accent you can imagine, "Have you heard of the rumors of the hairy ape in the woods?"
Oh my God, of course, BC. We're in Bigfoot's house.
Is the abominable snowman real or not? I have to know.
Are we suggesting that this is did he flee Europe because he was just too annoying for Europe? Like, it was just like, you haven't committed a crime, but you're too shitty and have to go.
I think he is Werner Herzog's penguin. I think he is pursuing an unknowable dream, right? And so that's the thing that makes him Canadian, is he gets the death drive. And instead of just doing the sort of like Swiss thing that they've all done for the last 1600 years of like going into the town and like banging the halberds on the fucking cobblestones and being like, no, the women should not have the vote or whatever. He decides, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go to Canada to prove the existence of like fucking hair-covered hominids.
Well, to be fair, Nova, that event you described, it did last happen in 1998.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And also, to be clear, Bigfoot is real, so I just want to register that. Thank you.
And you're doing this to, like, again, this guy who is just kind of Canadian gentry, right? You've sort of, this terrifying weirdo has entered your space and gone, Bigfoot. And Green tells him, this is bullshit, right? This is nonsense. There is nothing to these rumors. But I guess he like brings up this story to normal people, like people he respects, which you would do. It's a remarkable incident. If you're, honey, you'll never believe what happened to me at work today. A guy who had a Hitler mustache in his hair started screaming at me about fucking the abominable snowman.
Yeah. Well, because also, I guess the other thing is, because his social circle is the guy who has the second largest fiberglass yacht in an inland BC lake, also of their own design, right? The people he respects are also probably like the Canadian members of the Canadian gentry,
adult men named Bunny,
who aren't in the family compact and who like aren't about to be like. None of these guys are going to be in Lester B. Pearson's cabinet. Let's say that.
No.
Right? Their younger brothers, they've all been outshone by like their more successful younger brothers.
That's literally, yeah. So enough people that he respects tell him, either in earnest or in jest, and he doesn't get it, that there's some there. So he puts on his newsman hat and he thinks, I should look into this. And somehow he and Dahinden just go on the road together. You could just do this back in the day. You could functionally take hostage the editor of the town newspaper and make him go on a road trip with you. And I really want a movie of this, of just this Canadian Tory princeling and a fucking European Alpine psychopath driving driving the back roads of BC together. I want to write
the movie. This is incredible.
Yeah.
To consider.
In quotes, interviewing witnesses and conducting on-site inquiries. And I follow this up here with a little black and white photo of Renee Dahinden climbing a fence. He's wearing a cycling cap,
He's wearing a cycling cap. He's got like old binoculars or with like a tracking dog. What's he holding in his hand?
A leash for the dog, I think.
A leash for the dog. I was like, what is that, a Bigfoot detector? That's a leash for the dog.
Just ungainly climbing over a fence.
Nova, I have a photograph. I have a photography question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Based on when this would have been taken, the quality of the film and the quality of the cameras, if he was actively like mid-leg swing, is there a possibility that that would have been blurry and that what he's doing is he's posing for a few seconds because he's like, oh, hey, get me going over this fence?
Entirely possible.
Okay, thank you.
It could well be like a staged action shot. But so these two guys roaming around the woods, they find, just all kinds of bullshit. This is the Canadian stuff power hour, right? Mm-hmm. They find a Swedish immigrant prospector called Albert Ostman who claims...
Yes.
Matty knows.
Yes. I know about this guy. Wait, fuck. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He claims to have been abducted by a family of man beasts.
I'm having like, this is like Proustian for me. I'm like remembering reading these exact, oh God, what have you done to me?
He's in his sleeping bag and the man beast picks him up and takes him.
They take him to like the cave where his family is.
And he lives...
yes. Oh, God.
He lives with the family of man beasts and I guess woman beasts and child beasts.
Woman beasts.
For 6 days.
Yeah.
Which
and they're gentle.
Yes.
And they feed him and
they're
stuff.
Gentle giants.
They think he's a child. Oh, my God. I remember this so vividly.
I'm flying. I personally am flying my own version, my own Canadian version of the POW MIA flag for Albert Ostman. An innocent Swedish prospector who is just picked up by a man beast.
Yeah.
Ostman claimed he escaped by feeding snuff to the adult male, which made him groggy and disoriented.
Yeah.
And he came forward with these events in 1957 to Renee Dahinden and John Green. He claimed he did not tell his story for more than 24 years after it happened for fear of being thought of as crazy.
Well, this is because, like, you know, we say it's like victims are often gaslit and very few.
Yeah, Bigfoot victims are taught to make ourselves small. And
but Green is the one who writes that up and prints it in the Agassiz Harrison Hot Springs Advance.
Imagine if this was real and that was the paper that broke the existence of cryptids.
And that's canonical now, and things maybe take root a bit more than expected because these two guys kind of poking around, asking questions, sort of generate more rumors as they do so. And so the next year, down in Bluff Creek, California, construction workers find hundreds of large footprints, and one guy who is a bulldozer operator named Jerry Crew takes a plaster cast of one track to a local newspaper, which dubs it Bigfoot.
Because of the size of his foot being big.
Because of the size of the foot being big. So John, he takes his wife, June. They drive for 3 days out to California, and they get there and find that they have run a backhoe over the big footprints right before they get there.
That's because like they didn't get like the you know, these historical preservation departments that are more prevalent in Europe than in America. Like they didn't get guys to come and like do like, police tape around the Bigfoot.
Yeah,
fundamentally.
True. It's like the crime scene from Memories of Murder. But as his wife opens the car door, she finds one more Bigfoot print.
Oh, of course. That's pretty lucky.
That's so lucky. Admit. And John, he like looks at this Bigfoot print and he finds it to be congruent with previous tracks and sightings that he and Renee have found. He thinks this could be the man beast.
This is the kind of like beating the pavement journalism that is being, destroyed right now by private equity. You don't have people driving to California to have their wife find a lucky Bigfoot print on the ground.
Oh, and so he thinks maybe Bigfoot real. And he writes that up too.
Good.
And so the two kind of nexuses of Bigfoot and Bigfoot related publishing are California now, like Bluff Creek, California, and BC, Harrison Hot Springs. And because he's publishing, because he's writing about it, the thing kind of starts to snowball a bit more. And the next year, a Texas oil heir and fail son named Tom Slick Jr.
No, that's a newspaper strip character. Tom Slick Jr. He owns an oil rig, and he's always getting into misadventures.
He was a San Antonio-based adventurer.
Awesome.
He was a friend of Howard Hughes, also weirdly of Jimmy Stewart.
Okay.
He was also an obsessive cryptozoologist. So like the year before, he had gone out to the Himalayas to try and hunt the Yeti.
Yeah.
And so Tom Slick comes to Junior comes to John Green in Harrison Hot Springs and enlists him and Renee, who is still in town, for an expedition to try and find and hunt Bigfoot.
So it's like this is what we're seeing is like the birth of a nation, but for this particular brand of strange person. Right, they are coming together with a shared set of like they're coming together with a shared language and like literary culture.
It's so funny that you said the birth of a nation because I used that exact metaphor later. It's like this is from an article in the Tyee, which is like an absolute godsend for writing this episode. This expedition included Slick himself, Peter Byrne, a big game hunter who had led the Yeti hunt, Ivan Sanderson, a writer from New York, Bob Titmus, a Californian taxidermist.
Great.
John Green, and an acquaintance of Green's. A fellow British Columbian named Rene Darhinden, a cantankerous, obsessive Sasquatch hunter who would later play himself in a Kokani beer commercial.
Good.
That is Canadian stuff. Canadian stuff.
This is Canadian Lost City of Z. This is like...
This is Canadian Aguirre, the Wrath of God. It was, by several accounts, highly disorganized.
Canadian Fitzcarraldo?
The men put out fried eggs and peanut butter sandwiches to try and lure a Sasquatch into their camp.
What did they watch, E.T.?
This is awesome because this is like, well, this is just them being like, well, Sasquatch is real, but bears are not.
There were all sorts of things to argue about, Green later wrote of the expedition. Slick insisted that the thing should be shot, but I think all of the rest of us had serious doubts about that.
I don't know why we brought the cowboy from Dracula, but here he is. It's like wearing the cowboy hat with the 6-shooter. Be like, I say we have to shoot that Sasquatch when he shows his hairy cotton-bellied face. God.
We all had different ideas about how we should be hunting it and where.
Sure.
So perhaps because of this, they don't find the Sasquatch.
Well, it hears them arguing about whether to shoot it. He's like, well, I'll go find a peanut butter sandwich somewhere else.
He comes in, it's like, eggs and peanut butter? Ugh.
Ooh, disgusting.
Weird combo.
I like snuff.
There's this kind of fallow period for Bigfoot. It's kind of like a fad in the late 50s that fizzles.
Yes.
Here's an actual question I have for you. You might not know the answer to it. Do you think that's because all of the Bigfoot energy went into UFOs because that's what the culture was tilting towards more broadly?
Oh, yeah. There is 100% like a locked-in constituency of like cranks, right? And they're going to shift from thing to thing.
Cryptozoology really was about like anxieties related to the end of there being more world to explore.
Yes.
And the UFOs were related to the anxiety of fear of like missiles and flying things. And
well, if you think of this like a Civil War battle of like first Bigfoot, then the Jet Age killed first Bigfoot, I think.
Yeah.
But so there's this kind of fallow period, right? And so Green, he goes back to his newspaper, his local news. He runs for provincial office, like his dad, as a conservative, and he loses. And he does that 4 times.
It's called persistence, remember, and you can't teach it.
It is. Nobody wants this guy's kid in provincial office. So he runs for village council, and he does win. And finally, blessedly, in 1962, he is elected mayor of Harrison Hot Springs, population 475.
We did it.
476 if you count Bigfoot, which he does.
I love this guy just being like, I'm just going to real quick prove the thesis of your show. that the mayoralty is a catch fence for weird cranks.
Tried to do some higher office, couldn't do it, partially because of the Bigfoot stuff, I guess. Mayor. Yeah. Mayor of town.
Good.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? All that other stuff is pretty disqualifying. But you know what's a nice warm bath of a small warm bath of power?
A nice hot spring. Yeah.
Would you like to be a large fiberglass yacht in a small BC lake? Boy, do we have the position for you.
Would you like to be an enormous Bigfoot in a sort of a very small hot spring?
Bigfoot in a small town. Fuck off up the model village. This is, I think, the funniest part of this is that almost incidentally, he seems to be quite a good mayor. Like,
of course. He's got the promoter's fucking thing, right?
Yeah. He kind of realizes that it's the 1960s. People aren't into hot springs tourism anymore. So he gets some funding from the province to do land reclamation to make a beach.
Oh.
Which is still there. It looks quite pretty.
Okay.
It's like actual sand, which mogs 90% of my country's beaches. He like starts a sand sculpture festival as an added draw. John Green is the founder of the World Sand Sculpture Championships.
Wow.
Sad to say, not only do they not still do this in Harrison Hot Springs, but I, in researching this, found myself in the back rooms of Greater Vancouver Parks.ca, a long neglected elderly web design part of that website.
Take a look at this.
And I found something that contains so much melancholic energy that I had to sit down and put my head in my hands. There's a bunch of underexposed photos of the sand sculptures where they all look really grey.
It looks like quite an overcast day, which is a very funny day to do this on. And there's like, some of them are quite terrifying.
Yeah, they are.
There's one that's like a Plymouth Prowler, which I think is horrible.
Also, I wanted to add the dates as well of this. Like September 6th to October 10th is a little late for a sandcastle contest.
We don't need to boost numbers in the on season.
Also, this photo that says Harrisand World Championship Sand Sculpture, September 6th, October 12th. And then there's a little map, and under it, it says, looking back on the sand sculpture competition, sculpute competition.
Yeah, it is misspelled, yes.
Looking back at the sand sculpute competitions, and then in red, note, sand sculpture event no longer held. Oh, this is great.
Okay, all right. New saddest, shortest story.
I will put this link in the show notes on Patreon. Jesus.
The fact of the banner being shot against an overcast sky where it's sort of flapping lonely. It looks like either the opening of Midsummer or like a video for the Dead Flag Blues.
The camera flips over to show the sand sculpture competition banner.
This feels bad psychically.
It really is not good to look at.
No. He is mayor for a 2-year term, 1962 to 1964, and then thank you for your service, and he is done being mayor. This is the sole extent of his mayoralty.
You know, like sometimes they'll put, like Netflix will be like, I'm putting a movie in theaters for 3 days, so it's eligible for Oscars. This is this guy in the past doing us a favor, being like, I would like to be eligible for a podcast about mayors in the future. I'll be pretty good at it between my stints as an insane Bigfoot expeditionist.
One short term where he actually makes like a sort of visible change to the town. Like he gives them a beach, and then he's just like, okay, enough being mayor. Because in 1967, everything changes because all of a sudden people aren't interested in sand sculptures anymore. They're interested in Bigfoot again.
Yeah, it's back.
Yes. October 20th, 1967. 2 guys, Roger Patterson and Robert Gimlin.
Famous incident.
May I make a proposal here, which is we know that the American dream time is the 19th century.
That's right.
The North American dream time is the 19th century. We've talked about a lot of stuff in the 1960s that indicates that the 1960s might be like an echo of the American dream time, because there is this brief period where crazy stuff happens again.
In the West, for sure.
Yeah.
It's specifically like Northern California, late 60s, early 70s. That's the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah.
That's Charles Manson, Inherent Vice, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
I was going to say, everything's got a very Pinchonian sort of vibe to it.
Yeah. We just did Inherent Vice for Be Gay Solve Crimes. It's 100% Inherent Vice out there.
Yeah.
And so as the Zodiac Killer is busy sort of like experimenting with alternative new treatments for headaches, these two guys, Roger and Robert, they've been out trying to make a pseudo-documentary film about Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, the character from Inherent Vice?
Yeah, Bigfoot Bjornsson.
Yeah.
And they're out in Bluff Creek in California on the Klamath River, and they encounter Bigfoot.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
This is the famous video.
It's the film.
It's the film of Bigfoot. It is the Bigfoot that is tattooed on me. Albeit stylized, but yeah, this is it. If you've seen the photo of Bigfoot where he's doing the lope, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the lope, the gate,
the gate.
As I have a quote here from Wikipedia, I believe. The resulting film, about 59.5 seconds long at 16 frames per second, is initially quite shaky until Patterson got about 80 feet from the figure. At that point, the figure glanced over its right shoulder at the men, and Patterson fell to his knees. To researcher John Green, Patterson would later characterize the creature's expression as one of contempt and disgust. You know how it is when the umpire tells you one more word and you're out of the game? That's the way it felt.
One more word and me and my family will adopt you for 6 days.
So, yeah, the fact that the quote there is given to John Green. He drives down there, he visits the site, and he sees footprints as long as his forearm. And that's when he says, yeah, this is real, right?
He was the mayor like last year.
Yeah, and he's convinced of Bigfoot now.
But also, surely, if you're parenthetically mayor, then like you didn't maybe make enough beaches.
Yeah,
maybe.
You didn't kick off enough sandcastle competitions.
I think I've accomplished all I needed to do in my first term, and it's time for me to go back to my first love, which is driving to California and falling for something.
Yeah, absolutely. And in case you think, right, he just fell for something, he tested this experimentally.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. He
did. It's repeatable? That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few weeks after visiting Bluff Creek, this is from Chilliwack Times, Green went to see more tracks in a creek in hard sand that were very clear. He said that to test if those tracks could have been faked, he tried jumping off a log. He found he had to land on one heel in order to get a small point of his boot in as deep as the tracks he found. Can humans make them? Deliberately fake them? The plain, simple answer is no, he said.
Well, that's the end of that.
It's enough for me.
Bigfoot, by the way, just proven real. Position of the podcast. Bigfoot real.
Real and extremely dense.
Yeah, that's okay. Axiom.
Precept? You mean?
It's precept.
Bigfoot is comprised mainly of like osmium and as such weighs like a ton for his size.
Let's just work this out exactly. It's Bigfoot is real and
extremely dense.
Yeah, Bigfoot is real and extremely dense.
This is number 13.
The osmium is speculation on my part.
Bigfoot
We're sticking with known facts.
Bigfoot is real,
of course.
semicolon.
Right? Like, sorry, I don't think you can jump off a log to prove what he's made of.
Yeah, no,
only just he's dense.
He's dense.
Sorry, I'm looking at this. So this is actually, I think, fittingly number 13 of the precepts. I, for some reason, forgot about number 12, which is restore geography, put the Louvre back in Paris. I don't recall why that came up.
Oh, because the Louvre in Abu Dhabi or whatever.
That's right.
I know it's that the Louvre in Abu Dhabi had a Louvre Abu Dhabi event in Miami. There was like a triple exclave thing going on.
Correct.
Okay, so he interviews Patterson and Gimlin, the guys who took the footage. He gets an original copy of the film, and he plays a huge part in like publicizing it. He starts screening it for people who he thinks are experts. So like he goes to UBC and shows it to scientists. He shows it to the guy who did the ape costumes for Planet of the Apes to be like, is this an ape costume? To which the guy says no.
That's so funny. They have one of the masks at the museum near my house, and I'll go look at it often. And it is the least ape-looking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
And so he's all the time, he's like collecting quotes, he's getting interviews.
Yeah.
And all of this goes into a book, On the Track of the Sasquatch. Notably, he always calls it the Sasquatch, which is Schalish for hairy man. It's attested from the 1920s.
On the Track of the Sasquatch. It's like almost the same title of the book that Jim Garrison wrote about Kennedy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Once you're on the track of something, it's like, I didn't prove anything.
Yeah, I just, speaking to what you've done to me here, I was looking up, trying to find photos of him to make the episode art while we were talking here. And I did see the cover of one of his other books. And I 1000% read it as a small child, checked out of my school library. Why was Encounters with Bigfoot 1980 in my school library, my elementary school library? I don't know. But I did check it out.
You think it's important for the kids to get some misinformation?
But I did check it out. I did check it out like 14 times.
Did you ever like go into your library? You just saw a Swiss man with like a Hitler mustache haircut running around the corner.
Yeah, like what? Hey, what are you doing in suburban Connecticut?
And notably, despite the fact that the Bigfoot film was in California and the Bigfoot tracks that named the bit Bigfoot were in California, he folds in enough of the BC like man-beast stuff, either cynically or in earnest, that Harrison Hot Springs becomes kind of a Bigfoot town, and it captures some more revenue.
Forget it, Jake. It's big.
It still is. They have a Sasquatch museum.
Okay, well, I know where I have to go next time I'm in Vancouver, I guess. Yeah.
It's commutable. It's easily done.
Okay.
God, that's one of the great things about Vancouver is you can go swimming in the morning, skiing in the afternoon, and be on the trail of the Sasquatch in the evening.
They're going to put that on a poster. And this is legit like a bit of a tourist trap even. And the book does so well. Like this is like the second big bang of like Bigfoot as a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
To the point that he starts making more money from Bigfoot hunting and Bigfoot book writing than he is from local newspaper publishing, which is a sad decline of local newspapers is partially because of the Bigfoot phenomenon. Yeah. It's maybe unfair to take this as a reflection of how he felt about his day job, but he does immediately sell the paper and Bigfoot hunt full time.
Listen, if I saw the hairy man and I could sell my business, if I could sell my stake in this podcast to go Bigfoot hunt, I would be gone in a second. Like, fuck both of you.
I mean, I gotta be clear. I really admire this guy. Like, this is not a man who lets opportunity knock twice. Opportunity knocks once, he flings the door open, bundles opportunity inside, and handcuffs it to his radiator like Boy George.
Making the Opportunity Museum for everyone to go look at it.
Like, he is right. He writes 3 books in 5 years. Striking while the iron's hot. He writes On the Track of the Sasquatch, Year of the Sasquatch, The Sasquatch File. All of these apparently sold mainly on magazine racks and I guess to elementary school libraries.
Fucking guess so.
But he sold like hundreds of thousands of these. Yeah. So, anyone's happy. And from that moment on, he is a Sasquatch guy. Like, this is the point in the beautiful montage where we get to the 70s, everybody's wearing turtlenecks, and he tries to, like, systematize Sasquatch hunting. He tries to do cybernetics to it.
He's Harry Crane for Sasquatches.
He hand makes a database which has more than 4,000 sightings and 3,000 records of footprints with recipe cards pinned to a map.
Oh, that's you hate to end up with a sort of map and string room. Yeah. It's just I suppose what happens is, like you don't want to have a map and string room. Then you're just like, okay, I'm going to put one card here just so I remember. Yeah. And then you sort of black out and then you're toast. You're
what
done.
They don't tell you is that it's actually a pretty helpful way to organize information.
And so in 1978, he publishes a 492-page hardback book, Sasquatch, The Apes Among Us, which Wikipedia tells me is regarded by the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization as the best written book on the subject.
Oh, it's got the BFRO. Then that's pretty. Tell me, did it in its year? Did it win? Did it win the Golden Toe?
I believe so. Yeah. I believe so. Yeah. And so, legitimately, he seems to kind of struggle a bit with fame. Like a lot of people, including Matty, I guess, read his books and got like radicalized. When I wrote this sentence, I didn't know I was talking about a deputy friend, but I said a lot of kids who don't know they're autistic because it's olden times find their special interest for life and become the next generation of like Bigfoot people.
Don't know they're autistic because it's 1995 and they're not doing that yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have a long quote here from the Natalie again. Even Green eventually grew tired of hearing stories. Throughout the 1970s and 80s, as he became known as an expert on the subject and appeared on the news or in the paper, letters would inevitably trickle in with people with their own tales. The tone of these letters, Green told me, was shock. They want someone who appreciates the seriousness of it. You tried to be that for them, but after a while it gets wearing. He also expressed frustration that scientists had never taken the issue more seriously. He seemed to have expected, or at least hoped, that science would have this thing licked by now.
I mean, this is the story of being any kind of marginalized person online, right? With any level of fame, where people start writing in with their stories, and you have to sort of like...
I start sewing this together. But ultimately, life goes on, right? Like, the guy has 5 children. He's making money doing the Bigfoot stuff.
Sure.
I think it's characteristic that one of his obituaries describes one of his non-Bigfoot qualities as, quote, investor of his father's inheritance, end quote.
Brutal.
Yeah. But, that's always how it is, though. Your dad has a real job and you take all of that privilege, but you can't really, for whatever reason, make the jump to make it generational. And instead of that, you fall into this kind of strange social margin. And you become kind of disproportionately important there amongst people who also feel kind of excluded. And then you it feels good, but you have mixed feelings about it. And I don't have to draw this parallel so explicitly, but this guy is to Bigfoot as we are to being transgender.
Sure.
Welcome to Be Gay Solve Crimes, I guess, because he's also kind of a detective.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You've backdoored an episode of your other show, haven't you? I see.
I have. I have.
Sorry, November, there's a little stage direction in here.
There is. Yeah, I would appreciate it if you just sort of let that flow naturally from this, because like the Ku Klux Klan or being transgender, Bigfoot has distinct phases.
Fuck you.
Listen, there's a transgender tipping point. There's a first clan. There's a second clan. There's a third clan. There's a first Bigfoot. There's a second Bigfoot. These are all comparable phenomena, I think. Nobody's going to get mad at me.
The Democratic Party has a hard time working out its relationship with both.
Yeah, the Democratic Party's Bigfoot caucus is doesn't know what it's doing.
So you're saying that this guy is sort of like a Bigfoot elder.
Yes.
And then he's seen it all.
Yes. Yes, I am.
He was down in Chelsea getting fucking caulk injected into his Bigfoot book. Sure.
He threw the first brick at Bigfoot.
He told that Jackson not to do that.
And so the third Bigfoot tipping point is when we invent the internet, right? John Green, another admirable quality of his is that he does not fear technology, right? And so that database full of recipe cards, he has a computer. He digitizes that. He puts it online. He's posting. And suddenly, people who individually, geographically might be quite isolated, again, there are no parallels here, are able to form a kind of community. And this guy who's been out doing it for longer in person, he starts to take on this kind of heroic status. I note that he is the keynote speaker at all 3 of the major scientific Sasquatch symposia.
I think that's a problem, though, right? Because that kind of means that you're just having the same conference in 3 different places, right? There's not enough debate within the Sasquatch community.
When you have a small minority, it's just these things just happen sometimes.
Yeah. They also could be geographically distributed. For instance, I found a photo of him holding a big wood in Ohio. It says that he's been inducted into the Ohio Bigfoot Hall of Fame. Which I don't think Bigfoot gets that far out east.
I would love to be inducted into the Ohio Bigfoot Hall of Fame.
Into the Ohio Bigfoot Hall of Fame, which is what I'm calling
sorry,
this.
I can't. I have to get a lawyer because I've just been indicted into the
that's what they call the fucking psych ward in Cleveland, is the Ohio Bigfoot Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Bigfoot getting through Ohio, but he's just commuting. He's just driving through interstate.
They said that Progressive Field is really nice. I want to check it out.
I mean, maybe Ohio has a Bigfoot Hall of Fame, not in the same way that it has a navy, right? It's aspirational.
Sure.
Bigfoot says he's been to Illinois, but he really just transited a flight at O'Hare.
Yeah.
He's really been.
I mean, to be clear, right? He's not just doing the Sasquatch stuff. Like, this is just like he's busy investing his father's inheritance, but he's like a philanthropist too. He's like active in his local community, so much so that in like later life he's going to be like BC's senior citizen of the year because he's like does stuff with the scouts and stuff.
Do you think that if you accept a philanthropic contribution from Green, right, that before you meet him to collect the giant novelty check or whatever, you all have to come to an agreement about what you're going to say if he brings up Bigfoot?
Yes. Yeah. I think being a scout in Fraser Valley, you have this weird guy who tells you about Bigfoot. Just come and give you a big check or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, look, we don't have to say it's real. We just can't say it's not real.
Yeah, you have to kind of play along a bit. Like the fire department or whatever, we're going to take the big check and we're going to buy the new fire engine and we're going to be like, we'll keep an eye out for him or whatever, you know? But he's still writing. 2005, he has another book out, The Best of Sasquatch Bigfoot.
Come on.
Yeah, it sucks when an artist has to do like a greatest hits compilation to pay rent, but you know, especially with the like SEO ass title, like Sasquatch Bigfoot. Like, come on, man.
You want to show up both ways when you're in the card catalog.
Yeah. But he becomes, and this is legitimately a term of art, one of the 4 horsemen of Sasquatchery.
Oh, you imagine that Sasquatch would easily crush whatever horse he was riding.
The density. Yeah.
It would take far more than a cavalry charge of only 4 horsemen to move the great mountain ape.
Oh, Sasquatch would bisect a horse. I think that's clear.
I think the question is, right, how many I think we can all agree it's pretty obvious that Sasquatch would turn a 4-horse charge into, like, you know, human horse jerky pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's holding 2 great swords. Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it would take a massed like saber charge by winged hussars to even make a dent.
Yeah.
What do you think the Forest Service has those howitzers for? Avalanche control?
What, they're trying to pin Bigfoot in a trench line?
Yeah. This is clear. But so in Harrison, he is Mr. Sasquatch.
Well, it's all drones now, of course.
Yeah,
it's mostly drone-based warfare.
He is Mr. Sasquatch. So, like, if you're in the fire department, Mr. Sasquatch is going to come and give you some money.
It rocks.
Here's another thing I really admire about John Green is that he never falters. Like, he kind of considers himself like a kind of entry-level, like, very short introduction Sasquatch researcher.
Oh.
He's constantly frustrated by people trying to write to him instead of reading more widely in the subject, which is, you know, the fate of many a lucky academic, R.I.P. Gordon Wood.
Yeah.
But he stays true, is the thing. Like, Darhinden, who is another one of the 4 horsemen of Sasquatchery. Darhinden, he dies in 2001, sadly. And heartbreakingly, in his obituary, right, he confesses doubt, right? He sums up the whole human condition. Because in his obituary, his friend remembers a remark that he said. One day he said to me, you know, I've spent over 40 years and I didn't find it. I guess that's got to say something.
Oh, no. Well,
it's heartbreaking.
That's profound and sad. And
it's Herzogian.
What do you even do at that point in your life?
Yeah. But so Green, he's still giving interviews in 2009 where he's still insisting, I'm not a Sasquatch believer. I'm a Sasquatch investigator.
Would a pure believer have jumped off the log?
Thank you. Yes. And he's kind of the last of his generation, right? He's a Sasquatch elder, like you say. He's like an elder statesman, like grandfather of 13 at this point. And it's like the Mountain Goat song.
He's a grandfather of 13 in the way that like Sasquatch investigators are organized into houses. Because often they'll like they'll have to run away from home and they'll end up in Harrison Hot Springs and
no, it's real sweet to grow old, right? And so he is so beloved by his Sasquatch friends that from the 8th to the 10th of April 2011, that community organizes the Harrison Hot Springs Sasquatch Summit in honor of his 50 years of research.
That's why they canceled the Sandcastle building event. They needed to host the Sasquatch Summit.
He is the guest of honor. His wife is by his side, and every notable figure in the field is there. They've got Jeff Meldrum.
Wow.
They've got John Bindernagel.
Incredible.
Chris Murphy. Igor Burtsev, Tom Steenberg, Lauren Coleman, the whole pantheon is there for him.
Can we get Norm Macdonald saying, "All the stars are here"?
All the stars are here. I've got a photo of them lined up for him.
That's beautiful.
They do an acoustic guitar song dedicated to him about his life, which I would really like to be the outro music. People travel from Russia, from England. The local Chehalis youth band plays and dances for him. And when Colleen Kimmett, who is the journalist from the Tyee whose article on him was the keystone to this whole episode, asks how he feels about having never encountered a Sasquatch himself, he, and this encapsulates like the whole last hour of The Irishman, lamented the fact that so many of my friends have died without this being resolved. But then he says, there's every prospect it's going to happen to me.
Damn. Well,
John Green died in 2016 at the age of 89.
Holding hands in bed with his beloved Sasquatch.
Yeah.
They were just roommates.
He never saw one. He never even claimed to see one. So he never lied about having seen one. And for 2 years, he was mayor of a town whose Wikipedia page contains a section speculating that it could one day be wiped out entirely when an unstable rock face collapses off Mount Breckenridge, causing a mega tsunami that sweeps down the entire length of the lake and atomizes the beach he built and everything else. It will, I guess, destroy the resort, which was recently sold to a group of Chinese investors who are reportedly monopolizing the spring water. It will presumably obliterate the horrifying public swimming pool that is the focus of many, many negative reviews online. But it will also destroy a stone bench and memorial plaque outside the village office dedicated to the memory of Mayor John Green.
I don't understand how you managed to find the one person in the world whose life exactly seems to mirror the arc of a serious man.
It's a little bit a serious man. It's a little bit Train Days.
Yeah.
I was thinking this is a little bit serious manish until you brought up the fact that there is a kind of looming natural disaster. It's like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
Well, also, everyone, I assume, got really mad at me for comparing being transgender to Bigfoot earlier because Bigfoot isn't real.
Disagree.
And, okay, that's true. But to steal a line from a really melancholic film also about an incipient natural disaster in the Pacific Northwest, Pig, we don't get a lot of things to really care about. And it seems like this guy, John Green, really cared about Bigfoot. And I don't know that it matters to me that much. The Bigfoot obviously isn't real and is kind of a stupid idea. What else are we here for if not to believe against all reason that there's still mystery in the world? So
yeah, I mean, I agree. This is why I've always had the obsession with cryptids, is that like, despite me becoming a much more skeptical person when I was a teenager, that carries over to now, is that like, why not? Like the idea that the world is bigger than you could possibly ever see is much more interesting to me and a better way to live your life than acting like you know everything. Yeah. And I really, what a weirdly beautiful life from this weird man.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the best way to sum this up. A beautiful life lived by a weird man.
You get one of them, and there are so many less interesting things the son of like John Diefenbaker's foreign secretary could have done.
Yeah.
And a lot of them could have been way more successful ones as well. It's a real those kinds of failures, because he clearly wanted to like achieve higher office.
Yeah, like if he became the conservative premier of BC, it would have been bad. Right?
Yeah. And it would have been a million times less interesting. Like his kids describe him in one of his obituaries as having had a varied life, which sounds like damning with faint praise sometimes, but it's also like, that's Odysseus, right?
Yeah.
Like this guy was fucking Polytropos. And so he is my mayor, and I find lots to admire about him. And I feel this strange kind of kinship, because being transgender is kind of a bit like being a cryptid. Yeah. Or believing in a cryptid, or being in the Ku Klux Klan.
That's right. I agree.
There are three kinds of transgender people.
Oh, I'm going to see the exit surveys for this one.
Yeah. Well, this is a free episode, so you can't hurt us.
Yeah. Too profound and sympathetic. Was told to accept mystery.
Called me transgender. Called me Ku Klux Klan Bigfoot, so I had to stop listening to the show. We don't think it's the same thing in that way. No.
It's just weird that they were cultural phenomena that had distinct sort of technologically inflected points.
I guess you could say feminism.
Yeah, sure.
Other things have waves besides the KKK November. Other things have waves. Why is that the first place you went when talking about waves?
Well,
I want to address this on air.
Riley did Birth of a Nation out of nowhere.
By the way, just as the only American here, why the fuck are we doing that?
I think I wasn't talking about the movie. I was talking about the phenomenon.
President Woodrow Wilson, on seeing the Bigfoot video, described it as history written in lightning.
History smudged in sort of.
By the way, we are, I will say, rapidly approaching the time where we will have the first president who screens the Bigfoot documentary on the White House lawn. You know, like they did with that movie.
I kind of hope we get a harmless cryptid president instead of a crypto-fascist president.
If somehow everyone's killed and we end up with RFK as the president, I think maybe he screens the Bigfoot documentary.
Oh, yeah. RFK, designated survivor.
RFK declares war on Canada to capture Bigfoot.
To capture and kill Bigfoot.
So he can eat him.
Like my hero, Tom Slick Jr.
I didn't even get into Tom Slick Jr.'s CIA links.
Oh, boy.
Tom Slick Jr. maybe killed JFK. We don't know. I'm just saying.
He thought JFK was a Sasquatch.
That is my mayor. There are none like him. Yeah. And that is why he is mine.
That was a P.T. Barnum level of actual mayoralty to episode ratio.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I know. 2 years. But he built the beach.
Yeah, he got himself in scope. Kenny Kunene was mayor of Johannesburg for 2 days.
When we come to Vancouver, which we will do, we are gonna have to take a detour to Harrison Hot Springs, its horrifying pool and its beautiful beach, and maybe see if we can't catch the mega tsunami.
Maybe see if we can catch Bigfoot. Anyway, this is a free episode. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, we have a Patreon.
Oh.
It's like this, but more expensive.
But more in every way.
It's like this, but you have to pay $5.
Well, it's a free episode every 2 weeks, and there's a paid episode every 2 weeks, so you get extra 2 episodes a month, $5 a month. That's it. And we do a lot more. We have an episode every week for you.
That's right.
NoGodsNoMares.com.
Thank you so much for listening. And we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
To this day, he's still looking, and he's offering advice. His passion to resolve this has become his vice. Well, now he has no regrets. He'd like only to be there when they finally solve this mystery. He was out seeking Sasquatch, wasn't seeking no glory. We'll investigating and documenting the story. Who was always one of the first on the scene? If the Sasquatch had been there, well, so had John Green.